Hi, you guys. It's Elizabeth from Elizabeth's Oracle. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about the Sun into Virgo cycle of 2015 and some larger themes that this cycle is initiating. So the things we're going to cover are Virgo in general, some of the planetary movement, including the next Mercury retrograde, because you guys are always curious about that. And we're more importantly going to talk about the mutable cross. This is a really big deal that's really going to start, you're going to start to feel the effects of during this cycle, and it will continue to be important over the next couple of years, really. So we're going to look at all of that. Here are the start times. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so let's talk about Virgo qualities in general, because I think that will help you put some of the rest of this into context. So the Sun is moving into Virgo on the 23rd of August for about a month-long stay. And of course, Mercury is already in Virgo. It will be there till the 28th of August. And most importantly, Jupiter, the planet that expands everything it touches, has just moved into Virgo for a 13-month stay. And so we want to get into Virgo itself, and then we'll see how it relates to the planets it's going to be connecting with. So when we think about Virgo, it is, of course, a mutable sign, meaning it closes its season. So we're winding down the summer of 2015 here in the Northern Hemisphere. And mutable signs are talking about adaptability, flexibility, and change. Virgo is mutable earth. So we also talk about a very tangible, physical, reality when we're dealing with Virgo. Now, some of the qualities that you guys are familiar with about Virgo, it is a highly organized sign. Virgo also has to do with our health and daily routines. So these themes are going to be more and more important, and you'll understand that a little later when we get into that cross. But I do want you to think about the idea of organizing things, getting things in order, how you bring big picture ideas into practical goals in your daily life, your daily tasks and routines. These are all things that fall under the Virgo sort of category. So let's put that into context. And let's also talk about a few of the other planetary movements that are going to happen this cycle, and then we'll get on to the big cross. Okay. Okay, so who's moving around here? Okay, so during this cycle, we have Venus finally turning direct on September 6th. Really big deal. It has been retrograde since the 25th of July in Leo, and a lot of people have been working through their relationship stuff during this cycle. You know, should I stay or should I go? Is this the right relationship? Boy, this person seemed one way and turned out to be another. Or did they, you know, sort of come through any of the challenges that came up during that time? And you know, I've found myself to be in a solid partnership. So those are questions we ask when Venus is retrograde, and hopefully by the beginning of September, the 6th or thereabouts, or as it moves out of its shadow period, the answers will have become clear to you. Next big thing that you guys are always curious about is Mercury, and that's fine. Yes, we have a big bad Mercury retrograde coming. It starts on the 17th of September, and I know I seem so gleeful, right? Wait till all my technology starts breaking. We'll see how cheerful I am then. But yes, a Mercury retrograde is starting on the 17th, and remember the 17th. We're going to get back to the 17th in a second here. But the important thing is Mercury will have moved on to Libra, the next sign, by then, and it will be all the way at 15 degrees of Libra. So for you retrograde watchers, that Mercury retrograde will start on the 17th of September and it ends on October 9th. It moves from 15 degrees of Libra all the way back to 0 degrees of Libra. So for those of you who are familiar with the shadow concept, you'll know that we're going to pay attention the first time Mercury hits 0 degrees of Libra, which is of course at the very beginning of the Libra of any of the cycles we watch. The planets go from 0 to 29. Get out my words today. So we pay attention when the planet first hits the degree it's going back to during the retrograde. If that's confusing, go see my Sun into Aquarius video, because I broke it all down, the retrograde and the shadow period. And so the first time that Mercury hits 0, we pay attention to that, and that will be on the 28th of August. So that 28th of August through October 24th is the whole shadow and retrograde, but the intense time of course is the actual retrograde from the 17th of September until October 9th. So that's your Mercury retrograde stuff. Interestingly enough, it's in Libra, another relationship sign. So I don't know if you guys didn't get all your stuff done with Venus in Leo, maybe you got a little Mercury help on your relationships too. Okay, so we got Venus coming out of retrograde, Mercury going into retrograde, but more importantly, we have Saturn changing signs. This is one we've been talking about for a couple of months here, and all over, you know, all the YouTube astrologers are talking about. Saturn will go into Sag on the 17th of September. That's a really big deal because it will be there until December of 2017. So that's going to create what we call mutable crosses, squares, and that's a really big deal because it will be squaring Jupiter there in Virgo, and we have a lot more energy coming into the mutables courtesy of the North Node. I'm going to get into that in a second. So let's get on to the mutable aspect. So Saturn moving into Sagittarius is a really big deal. It is going to be 90 degrees away from Jupiter in Virgo and 90 degrees away from Neptune in Pisces. Hence, voila, the mutable cross. So what in the world is that, you wonder? I'll explain what I know about it, and I would definitely say keep Googling. Read a lot of people's stuff on this. I love reading other astrologers and watching other astrologers on here because you know, things resonate differently, and it's so complex that everybody's going to cover a little bit of it and you can piece it all together. But here's my take. This is the mutable cross. Okay, so as you can see from the chart, when Saturn gets up there on the 17th into Sagittarius, is going to be on one side, Jupiter is going to be on the other, and more or less these are 90-degree angles, which in astrology we call the squares. That's a really big deal because it's two energies working towards different ends, and so we think of, you know, squaring off or tensions coming to a head and a resolution needing to happen during those times. So it's these are going to be exact at certain times, and here's a card with the dates on that, and I'm going to leave that up while I talk because those dates are important for you guys to notice. So let's talk about some of the components in that, and then we'll kind of put it all together. And the reason that it's important to start feeling out these energies now is that they are only going to intensify as we move to exact squares and exact oppositions, because if you'll notice, Saturn's up there at the top kind of playing referee, but there's a total argument also going, or opposition going on, between the planets in Virgo and Neptune in Pisces, Neptune and Chiron over there. So we're going to feel oppositions too. Now the thing about oppositions is they have a kind of common theme. One side's here, one side's here, and we try to find our way along that continuum and find some resolution. So the contrasting energies there are Virgo, highly organized, totally orderly, analytical, and then on the other end, on that other end, we have Neptune and we have Pisces, some would say a little flaky, but I would say just holistic, creative. If Virgo is the vessel, Pisces is the water to go in there. So, we've got to find how to make that work. We don't want to be too rigid on the Virgo side or too flaky on the Pisces side. So, on that opposition, we find where if we're getting too stuck or too rigid, we access the Pisces energy and then kind of loosen up and take a holistic look and dabble in the creativity and get re-inspired, and then we put it into a daily routine or habit so that we can do something productive with it. Now, where we get to some interesting energy is Saturn playing referee up there at the top in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is also kind of like Pisces in the sense that it's wishful thinking. It has big, lofty ambitions. It's so optimistic. It could see the possibility of anything, which kind of relates to Neptune's ability to be a bit of an escapist, and that Neptune rules Pisces, so sometimes I'm going to use those interchangeably, but because we're talking about a very similar energy, and anybody who knows me knows I get a little flaky myself when it comes to Neptune. I am always messing up the dates and stuff, but I do fact check before I post on here. Sag can be very lofty, very optimistic, and just, want to see big things. Neptune is also a dreamer, but Virgo is there, opposing the Neptunian things and squaring the Saturnian things and saying, okay, how do you bring that into practical reality? And again, Virgo is physical. It's an earth sign. Now, the interesting thing with Saturn up there in Sag is Saturn is also about limitations. Saturn is about, that's great, you have the big Sagittarian dream and these lofty ideals. How are you going to put them into reality? Remember, Saturn is the furthest planet of the immediate planets before we go into the big transpersonal planets. It used to represent the end of our solar system. It has the rings, it restricts, it contracts. So, this is definitely going to be really challenging up there in Sagittarius, which is normally very outgoing and Jupiter ruled. So, interesting times. Things that I've been guided to share with you guys are these next couple years: health. Be extra healthy. This isn't just for a month or a day, but we're really going to be talking about the cumulative effects of your daily diet, health habits, exercise. Also, Virgo rules the nervous system and the intestines. So this is definitely where we internalize stress. So your mental breaks, your emotional health are things that are going to be very important. And as we have these challenges from Saturn in Sag and these oppositions from Neptune and Pisces, for some people, health things may become acute. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope that this is just a nice message from the universe to more than ever make physical health and well-being, to the extent that you can, part of your everyday thing, because that has a very positive impact on your mental and emotional well-being. So there is a payoff there. Also, if you think, I don't really want to do all that Jupiter stuff, the North Node is also moving into Virgo later this year, and that's a transit that's going to last, or a condition that's going to last until May of 2017. So as you can see, Saturn, that's going to go on till 2017, the end of 2017. This North Node thing is going to happen till May of 2017. And that's why I'm saying the trends that are getting underway now, these Virgo, get it together, get it organized, put it into practical reality. Those themes are just going to get stronger over the next couple of years. So it's really important that we take big dreams, be they Piscean or be they Sagittarian, and we start to come up with, how do I bring that into my daily life? What can I practice on a regular basis as part of my routine that's going to take those big goals, be they financial, physical, spiritual, or career, any big picture plans that you have. How are you going to bring them into your reality? The planets are definitely helping you do that, but with these conditions coming up, these squares and this whole mutable cross, they will definitely be forcing us to figure that out. And to me, when Saturn's involved, you don't really get away with too much if you're not doing what you need to be doing. So, just something to think about. So that's a little bit on the mutable cross. We're going to talk about it. Obviously it's a trend that's going to be going on the next couple of years, so we'll revisit it. But I do want you to start noticing, is there a health thing coming up, or some big goal that I've had on the list for a long time and I'm not getting there? How do I start bringing that in? So that's kind of a little insight into that, okay? Okay, I'm Elizabeth from Elizabeth's Oracle. Thank you so much for tuning in. That is the Sun into Virgo edition. I am not sure if I am going to have a Sun into Libra video up. I'm doing some traveling, yay! And I'm just not sure if I can get all this technology together while I'm doing that. But I am always available at Elizabeth's Oracle. This is a YouTube offer. If you have a reading, if you order a reading, you get 5 free minutes with your first order. And I also visit with my friends Kristy Ayala on her show, Kristy's Connection to the Soul, and Christina Walsh on her show, Surfing the Psychic Waves. And they have lots of shows in the archives, and I will be doing some of those as I'm traveling. So if you follow me on Twitter or come over to my Facebook page, all the links are here in the description box. Let me say that again. I update those pretty regularly, so I definitely give you the heads up, and then you can come and just listen in the archives. So, if you'd like a reading, and I will have software with me, so just feel free to pop over to Elizabeth's Oracle, sign up for the free newsletter, and I will connect with you either during the Sun into Libra or the Sun into Scorpio cycle. Thank you so much for watching. I'm wishing you a very nice Virgo cycle. Clear out the closets, organize things. It's all good.